Sir, I didn't ask you about. I didn't ask you about any of that. I asked you if you understand.
I will, however,
Mr. Matson, don't interrupt me. I've muted Mr. Matson's device because he continues to interrupt me and not let me finish what I'm saying.
Let me speak to.
I've muted Mr. Matson again because he unmuted himself and interviewed
Today's
here
hearing
in person.
is especially chaotic,
we
featuring
will
a
have an
sovereign
in-person
citizen
here
who
from
barely
jail.
pauses for breath
All right,
and
exactly what the
continuously
hearing
talks
is going to
over
be
everyone
on
in
that
the
day.
courtroom. He ended up there
So
after deciding it was a good idea to
charged
skip
with
meetings
a
with his
violation
probation
of the terms
officer,
of your
a
probation
choice that only
Yeah.
created more legal
failing
trouble
to
for himself.
report. So the
Now
hearing
he's
is going to be
attempting to argue his
determine
way
whether
out
or
of the
not you
situation
failed
with
to
claims
report.
that don't seem
Okay, so
grounded
it's going
in
to be
the
the
actual
trial that
issue
day.
at hand. The judge,
Correct.
however,
Okay, can I
wastes
have
no time shutting down the
the state police
distractions
sergeant
and keeps the
there at that
proceeding
trial?
firmly on track, which makes the exchange
What
particularly
state police
striking to
sergeant?
watch.
The
Viewers
state
are
police
left to
sergeant of
form
the
their
arresting
own
officers
opinions about how
on the night
individuals
of
like this should be handled
my
in
arrest.
court and
Who
whether
are the
stricter
arresting
measures are
officers?
necessary in situations
I don't
involving
remember the
sovereign
exact
citizen
names,
arguments.
but
By an attorney, and if you can't afford an attorney, the court will appoint one for you at public expense. Do you understand that?
I don't think you'd be violating your oath of office, Your Honor, by allowing me to the right to a fighting clause.
Sir, I didn't ask you about. I didn't ask you about any of that. I asked you if you understand.
I will, however,
Mr. Matson, don't interrupt me. The question I asked you is whether you understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney.
I do understand I have a right to be represented by an attorney or not. Yes, sir.
Okay. You've previously waived that right. As I said, I have to advise you that at every stage of the hearing. So I have to ask you again, would you like to be represented by an attorney at this point?
As I started to say, Your Honor, I don't want the representation. However, I will use the help of handling paperwork due to my means here and having access to certain things in paperwork. I will use your court-appointed attorneys just to help with some paperwork.
Okay, so you don't have a right to have the public defender's office do your paperwork or handle any of that. You have the right to have them represent you or not represent you. So that is your choice.
Not represent me, that's fine then.
All right. So you've previously been arraigned on the probation violation. Do you know how you want to proceed? So your options are you can plead to it if you want, which means you'd be admitting guilt. The other option is that I can set it for a hearing and we can have a hearing on the matter, and then I'll decide based on the evidence submitted at that hearing.
Your Honor, all due respect, I wish, are you working under oath of office today, sir?
Sir, I'm not going to answer these questions or deal with this. We've dealt with you before and your sovereign citizen arguments. I've rejected them all.
Citizen.
Sir, do not interrupt me. Do you want to have a hearing or do you want to plead?
I'll take your silence under your oath, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want to have a hearing or do you want to plead?
I want the hearing. I want to go to trial. I want to go within the 90 days to a trial or sooner.
All right. So Sierra will need about a 1 hour hearing on a probation violation.
As well as I'd like you to have the arresting officers that arrested me on that day. I would like their sergeant to be dressed in uniform and at that trial on that day.
These Zoom court hearings can become
I muted
incredibly
Mr. Matson's
chaotic,
device
especially when a defendant
continues to
constantly
interrupt me
interrupts
and
and
not
talks
let
over
me
the
finish what I'm
judge
saying.
as if he does not
Mr. Matson,
understand
I
basic
was
courtroom
saying that
procedure.
this is a
His
criminal
behavior
court
comes across
wherein
as
you have pled
disrespectful,
guilty
and some might argue it borders on contempt of court. He even claims he
possessing a
wants an
controlled
attorney
substance.
only to help with
And,
paperwork, which
you were
reflects a
placed on
misunderstanding
probation
of an
as,
attorney's actual role,
result of
since
that,
lawyers
your
are
sentence
appointed
was
to
to be
provide
placed on
legal
probation.
representation not simply
Subsequent
assist with
to
filing
being
documents.
sentenced to
It
probation,
is difficult to tell whether he truly
there
believes
was an
the
allegation
arguments
that
he
you
is
failed
making,
to
or if he is
report in
deliberately
accordance
trying
with
to
the
stall the
terms of your
process.
probation.
At one
That
point, he
is an
unexpectedly
alleged
demands that a
violation
sergeant
of
be
probation.
present at his
There's
hearing,
no right
which
to a
raises
jury
further
trial
questions about his intentions
for a
and
violation
whether
of
he is
probation. So the court
improvising
will
or
conduct.
following some
Let
kind
me,
of
let me,
script.
let me,
His shifting requests and
speak to-
interruptions make the
I
proceedings
muted
feel
Mr. Matson
disorganized,
again because
yet
he
the judge
unmuted
remains
himself
composed
and
despite
interrupted
the
me.
repeated
We will
disruptions.
have you back on April
Observers
8th
are
at
left
3:30,
wondering
Mr.
whether
Matson.
he is
This hearing
genuinely
is concluded.
confused or
Let me know if you
intentionally
guys want to see
playing
the
ignorant,
second half of
as
this
the
guy's
tension
hearing
in the
because
hearing
it somehow
continues
gets
to
even
build.
crazy.
If you are here in person, so we will have you in person here from the jail.
all right, exactly what the hearing is going to be on that day.
So you've been charged with a violation of the terms of your probation.
Yeah.
For failing to report. So the hearing
Yeah.
is going to be to determine whether or not you failed to report.
Okay, so it's going to be the trial that day.
Correct.
Okay, can I have the state police sergeant there at that trial?
What state police sergeant?
The state police sergeant of the arresting officers on the night of my arrest.
Who are the arresting officers?
I don't remember the exact names, but any state police sergeant in uniform would do.
Why do you want any state police sergeant to be present at the trial?
Just to show how arrests are made, and why they're made, and how they do the determination, how they bring people into jail.
Well, how is any of that relevant to whether or not you violated the terms of probation?
I believe there's a lot of relevancy there. I don't see where any of it's going to affect the courts in any way, shape, or form.
All right. So the issue that the court is going to determine has nothing to do with things that happened during your arrest. The issue is whether or not.
No, it's not about the arrest. It's about the arrest for the violation of probation as well.
All right. The only issue before the court that day is going to be whether or not you reported. So your arrest doesn't have any relevancy to that. So I'm not going to.
I beg to differ, Your Honor. I beg to differ because the jury is going to be a jury of my peers, and at this time,
sir,
you're not going to have a jury of my peers.
Sir, there's not going to be any jury. You're not entitled to a jury trial on a hearing about violating your probation.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I'm pretty sure that last time I spoke to you, you said that I had the right to a jury trial for determining if I was guilty for a violation of probation.
I've never seen you on this violation of probation.
I've seen you, or I've seen you just the other day, last week.
No, you didn't. A different judge conducted that hearing.
You're Michael Olsaver, aren't you? There was
Yes,
Judge Sloan, and then there was you. I've seen both of you.
You did not see me last week.
I did.
And so you're not entitled to a jury trial on a probation violation. So again, we will have you back in person on.
Well, hold up then. So if I'm not entitled to a trial to determine if I'm guilty or not, this is a criminal court, isn't it?
It's a criminal court where you have already pled guilty to a felony and been placed on probation.
Because I was at risk of dying in this.
I've muted Mr. Matson's device because he continues to interrupt me and not let me finish what I'm saying. Mr. Matson, I was saying that this is a criminal court wherein you have pled guilty to possessing a controlled substance, and you were placed on probation. As a result of that, your sentence was to be placed on probation. Subsequent to being sentenced to probation, there was an allegation that you failed to report in accordance with the terms of your probation. That is an alleged violation of probation. There's no right to a jury trial for a violation of probation, so the court will conduct.
Let me speak to.
I've muted Mr. Matson again because he unmuted himself and interrupted me.
If you want to
no,
see
you
the
didn't.
second
A
half of
different
this
judge
hearing,
conducted
things
that hearing.
become even more
You're
chaotic.
Michael
For some
Olsaver,
reason,
aren't you?
he keeps
There was-
insisting on
Yes,
having
I
a
am.
sergeant
And then
present at
there
his
was
next
you.
hearing,
I've seen both.
which does not really make sense since the
You did
upcoming
not see
hearing
me
is
last
only
week.
about his probation
I did.
violation and
so
not about his
you're
original
not
arrest.
entitled to a jury
Because of
trial
that,
on
there is
a
really no
probation
reason for
violation.
any
So,
sergeant to be there, especially since he did not even
again,
request a
we will
specific
have you
officer
back
from the
in
police
person
department,
on
but
Hold up,
instead asked
then.
for a state
So,
sergeant. His
if
requests
I'm not
and behavior make
entitled
it
to
seem like he is
trial
trying
to
to turn the
determine if
hearing
I'm
into a
guilty or not, this
performance
is a
rather
criminal
than
court, isn't it?
focusing on the actual legal issue.
it's a
Many
criminal
people
court
would
where you
argue
have
that
already pled
sovereign
guilty
citizen
to a
defendants
felony
like
and been
him
placed
should be
on
held in
probation.
contempt
Because
more
I was
often
at
for
risk of
wasting
dying in
court
this.
time and not taking the judge's
I
instructions
muted Mr.
seriously.
Matson's
Their
device
constant
because he
interruptions and
continues to
refusal to
interrupt
follow
me and
courtroom
not
rules
let me
make
finish what I'm
proceedings more
saying.
difficult to
Mr.
manage
Matson, I
and can
was
make the
saying
court
that
system
this
appear
is a
less
criminal
orderly.
court
Some
wherein
viewers
you have
find this
pled
behavior
guilty
frustrating to watch because of how
to
openly he challenges authority
possessing a
and
controlled
continues
substance.
making unusual legal
And
claims.
you were
In
placed on
2025,
probation
some
as
people believe Zoom court hearings
result
make
of that. Your
situations like
sentence
this
was to be
worse
placed on
because there is
probation.
less physical control and
Subsequent
structure
to
compared
being
to
sentenced to
in-person hearings.
probation,
In-person proceedings may
there was an
encourage more
allegation that you
respectful
failed to
behavior
report
and help
in
maintain
accordance with the
courtroom
terms of
order,
your probation.
especially in
That
cases
is
involving
an
individuals who
alleged
frequently
violation of
interrupt or
probation.
refuse
There's
to
no
follow
right to a
procedure.
jury
The
trial
video ends with the
for
speaker
a violation
thanking
of
viewers for
probation, so the
watching,
court will
encouraging
conduct
likes
Let
and
me
subscriptions, and asking for
let
opinions
me
about the
speak to.
hearing, noting that the
I muted
defendant
Mr.
seemed
Matson again
unusual
because
but
he
not
unmuted
necessarily
himself
completely
and interrupted
irrational.
me.